Hi everyone, I'm Lillian, CEO of 9gag. Looking at the topic today, it might seem a little bit oxymoron. Intuitive big data, supposedly big data has to be counterintuitive because the whole principle is we lay down all the data and let the data speak for itself. But the point I want to try to make today is data is dead wood if you don't know how to use them. Dead wood. So let me start. I have two confessions to make before I start my topic today. First is that we have loads and loads of data, right? We have to have loads of data, otherwise I won't be here. So we do have loads of data. We have 350 terabytes daily traffic. We have 1.6 billion video views across our 150 global millennial users and 200 countries. So that's the confession number one. So I won't be wasting your time, hopefully. And the second confession I want to make is that, looking at me, you know that I'm not a data scientist. So I promise you I won't be intimidating you in the next 15 minutes. So so here we go. So I'm not a data scientist, so I need some credibility, right? So let me first introduce you to our data officer. This is Derek. This is how he looks every day in the office. So earlier this year, I asked him a question because after joining 9gag, I have a question that I always want to ask myself, is that about millennials, is sex or internet more important to millennials? So I posted this question to Derek, and Derek gave me this look again. And after 3 hours of thinking, and then he told me, Lillian, this is what I need to do. So write it down. First, I need to look at the Google Analytics data and also internal data to look at the number of posts that people uploaded, the number of posts that people upvoted, the number of posts that people commented, and the number of posts that people shared. Okay. Second, I need to use Google OCR to read and count the images about those pictures that fall under sex and internet. Then I'll do the comparison. By the way, I also need to count and compare the type of related keywords on people's titles on the posts that they upload. Plus, I also need to count the number of keywords that's related to the two categories in people's comments. Plus, I need to count and compare the data of the related keywords and the tags that people use, right? We just launched tags, so we have to use, right? Okay. So do you need Facebook and Instagram data? Yeah, we have lots, 80 million followers on Instagram and Facebook. Of course, we need that. Okay, repeat the first 5 steps for all these. So that was the whole conversation. And he told me, he would need 50 data sets. And if I need a geo breakdown, I'll need times the number by 200. So that makes it 1,000 data sets. And by the way, we haven't built the data. It would take us three weeks to build, to do the build, another 1 month to collect the data, and then 2 weeks to interpret the data. So, oh my God, I was thinking, why do I really have to wait for 2 months to collect all those data? And I look at the figures, and we found out actually we have the average browsing time of millennials on our site is 12 minutes. So why can't I ask the users directly? So this is what we did. So we decided to ask the users directly instead of waiting, for Derek to work with the engineers to cook up with the numbers. We just go direct. Because when we were young, what we want to know, we just ask. We don't need to wait. So this is what we did. And we partnered with GfK, the 4th largest research company in the world, to do this study. And we just create a very simple survey on SurveyMonkey. We post the link on website, and also we post it on our Facebook page. In 2 weeks' time, we have collected 134,000 responses. And I asked GFK what's the average or what's the eligible or credible base for doing a proper global research. They say it's 50,000. So we got close to 300% in terms of response. So we did the survey and we got responses from 194 countries. So it's probably the largest research on millennials in the world. So we'll see. And we're so excited about the research findings. I'm so thrilled to share the data with some of you, with all of you here. So remember the first question that I asked Derek? Sex or internet? So we frame these questions like in a catch-22 format, where users have to choose side to pick whether it's sex or internet. No middle ground. So I want to ask you, which is the country that you think is least inclined to give up sex? It's a European country. Monica Bellucci, Alessandro Del Piero, Italy. So Italy is less inclined to give up sex over internet. Only 32% of Italians is willing to give up sex. So next is, I want to ask you guys which country you think are most inclined to give up sex. It's an Asian country. I'm sure there would be quite some people from this country. Philippines. Singapore. What else? You guys are so pathetic. I don't have any tips for you because sex life is so private. I don't know about people's sex life. So here we go. 55% of Singaporean millennials are very much inclined to give up sex. That's true. I also wanted to share with you about one more, some more data about women and men. So guys, you think they have 41% of the guys very inclined to give up sex over internet? What do you think are the data for women? More or less? Take a pick. Less. 49% of the women are willing to give up sex over internet. Poor women. So another question that we asked is about startup or 9 to 5. We asked the questions whether the users are willing to work in a 9 to 5 company for 3 years or to work for a long time in a startup. Indonesians are the most country that's willing to work in a startup. Tokopedia, Blibli. We all know Indonesia is very, very active on startup, and I'm sure there will be lots of Indonesians here. 56% of the Finnish are less inclined to work in a startup. Rovio, Supercell, where are you guys? So we did compare the data. We did compare, of course, the GDP and the GDP growth. But at the same time, there is also one interesting finding that I would like to share. Temperature. Average temperature in Indonesia is 30 degrees Celsius. Finland, 17 degrees. Does it mean that the hotter the temperature is, the more active people will be in the startup scene? I will let you guys to explore and tell me. Smart or praise? This is a little bit tricky, these questions. We asked the people, are you more inclined to be seen as smart but without any appreciation? Versus an average person who got all the praises in the world. India, 73% all opt for being seen as a smart person without any appreciation. So on the reverse, you think which country are less ego, less narcissistic? Don't know. Well, this I have to tell you because I don't think you guys can guess. Indonesian again. 56% of Indonesians want to be seen as, only want to be seen as smart without any appreciation. But wait, you remember 79% of them opted for working in a startup. But only 50-something% of them are willing to work hard. So I really want to ask any Indonesians in this room, can you guys stay behind? I have lots of things to learn from you after this. So last insight I want to share with you, because we are very much a millennial platform. So we try to compare the data within millennials. And the definition of millennials, as we all know, refers to 18 to 34. But if you really look into this segment, if we pick the age of the extreme ends, a guy aged 34 can be a father of age 18. So this segment, we can't overgeneralize it, right? So I really want to look into data, how the younger millennials or the Gen Z will feel as compared to the older millennials who can be dads, right? So we look at the data, 64% of younger millennials or Gen Z opt to be seen as smart without appreciation. So as people age, you think they want to be seen as smart or less? More. Where does the gap of 3% comes from? I don't know. Oscar Wilde once said, with age comes wisdom, but sometimes age comes along. Maybe that's the reason why, the older they are, the more they want to be seen as smart. So these are the findings that I wish I could share more, but these are the findings more or less I could share today. We are working on the final report, which we target to share in the next month or so. So hopefully if you have interest, you can get more details. So one final tips after doing this study I want to share is, I think I can be categorized as one of the oldest executive in the tech field. So I guess it's very important for us to listen to our hearts. Don't be scared. Look ahead and really use your brain to interpret data, because it's very, very easy to die in the pool of data. So otherwise, you will never be able to see the wood for the tree. So that's pretty much I could share today. Thank you.